Hi. So hopefully you listened to that little backing track there. That's one of my Pond 5 things I sell for commercials and stuff like that. I think originally had a dobro on it. I think it was called Hillbilly Dobro Blues or something. Licensed it a few times. If you're interested, you can go to Pond 5, type in Busker 909 and, you know, type it in. There's a lot of tracks there, so it might be a little hard to find. What my point is today is I took off the dobro part that I did, and I thought it would be a great lesson on how to very simply play along with a backing track or with other people, especially in a blues type environment, and play some tasty fills without getting in anyone's way. So it isn't about doing the ultimate solo or anything like that. It's about just playing along with, once again, a backing track or other people. And one of the best ways to do that is to go from the one of the chord, especially if there's anything different about the progression. This progression is slightly unusual for a blues. It is a 12-bar blues. It's a quick change blues. So it's 4 on the 1 chord. I'm doing the G today. G, D, G, G open. So on the 1 chord, there's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes to the 4 chord, which is C on the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes back to the 1 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your 4 beats at the beginning of the 12 bar. Then it goes, as usual, to the 4 chord for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the 1 chord for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here there's another change. We reverse the 5 and the 4. We go to the 4 first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then to the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the 1. And we just stay on the 1 for the turnaround. So the root note, not the low one, we're going to play the highest one we can find. So the root note for the 1 chord would be here up on 12. And of course the chord's up there too. So the safest thing you can do is go up to the chord, right? So I believe is how I started that. Little jam there. And then I go down here. I'll make a tab for the jam and put that on and everything. And I go down here to the 4 chord. Here's the root note, an octave higher. And I go to the 7th. Whenever you have a root note, and 2 frets down is the dominant 7th, or the minor 7th, but not the major 7th. Then I go over to the middle string. This is the 5 of that chord. 1, 5, 1. And then back to the 1. So you got those 3 notes. So I fancy them up a little bit, I think. Now we only are on there for 4 beats, so we got to go back to the 1 chord. So I go back to that 7th because we're still on the 4 chord, and then to the 1 on the 5th fret on the middle string. Okay, and then I believe I went chromatically down like that. Chromatic means 1 note at a time without skipping any notes. So that's something else interesting about working from the chords, because you don't need to pay attention to whatever the scale said was right or wrong. The reason you can do this, because now you're on the 1 chord, and you're going to go to the 4 chord. So before you do, you want to do a little fill. So this is the 7 from here. This is the root. This is the 7. So you can do that chromatically. This note here, all by itself, wouldn't sound very good, but in context, it does. Right? So, and then of course you're going to go back to the 4 chord. And you can do any variation of those 3 notes. I kept it very simple and repetitive, but you can do anything that you want. If you stay on those 3 notes and resolve on the root, you will sound fine. You don't want to resolve on the 5th, because that's the 1 of the 1 chord, and that will actually sound like you're changing chords. Are there other options? Oh yeah, but I don't want to go over them today because it would get really confusing. So there we are. Now we go back up. Whether we slide up or do a chord, we're back up here on the 1 chord. We got 2 measures of that. So once again, this is another opportunity to do that chromatic thing if you want. You can get fancy, do octaves. Ooh, a little out of tune there. Okay, and the 7th of the 1 chord. Here's the root, here's the 7th. You can hit the 5 and go back to the 1. But it leads directly to the 4 chord, which in this song, we go to the 4 chord before the 5 chord. So you're back to anything you want there, and then move up 2 frets. And yeah, you can double time these things too once you got them. I'm just doing exactly the same thing. I'm just doing it faster. And you notice I do a little chromatic climb, 2-string climb up there. Because we're sort of staying on the 1. Once again, because we're going to this chord, we can drop down to the area of the 7th. Now we're just harmonizing the 7th by using the middle string. And now that would sound terrible by itself. But as long as you and the backing track go to the 1 chord, it's going to sound great. You can also use this basic technique with a lot of country, blues, and other things. It would be a not unwise idea to go to some place like Jam Play, and they have a free section of backing tracks. And the last time I checked on it for somebody, the backing tracks, they were great. And they also came with a PDF of what the chords were. So you can immediately find out what all the root notes are. I mean, you can, play the chords and strum along if that's what your thing is. But more importantly, you can find the root notes and try this chord style. I hope that gets you playing some nice tasty fills. Have a great day.